Yo, what is up guys? My name is Derek Beaver, and today I'm going to show you 3 easy motion graphics in Adobe After Effects. So without further ado, roll that intro. Alright guys, so we are back here in After Effects, and I'm going to show you how you can easily make this graphic. So go up to Layer, go to New, and then select the Shape layer. And we're going to select the Rectangle layer, and we are going to make a rather good size rectangle. Try to get it in the middle. If it's not perfect, it's okay. And I think this size is actually good. And so I'm going to select my Selection tool, and then I'm going to go back up to Layer. I'm going to go to Transform, and I'm going to center that anchor point in our layer content, and that's just going to make it easier to center it in the actual frame. Now we're going to go to the Align and both vertically and horizontally center that rectangle, and as you can see, it's perfectly in the middle. We might change the size later, but for now keep it that way. And we're going to start with the text now, so select that, click on the screen anywhere you want, and we're going to type create as you saw earlier. And we're actually going to change the font into something easier to read. So I'm going to select the Tahoma font. I just think it's really professional looking, and we are going to change that to a black font because it's going to come into the white rectangle. And so we are going to just drag it down, and then we're going to put that above the shape layer so we can see it. And now we are actually going to make the shape layer probably a little bigger, but let's first start by shrinking that text down a little bit to a decent size, and that's probably about as small as we want to get it. So now go to that shape layer, go to transform, and then go to the scale option and make it bigger. About that size I think is good. So about that size is good, but now we are going to actually try to center that once again, just because we moved it a little bit, and then center the text as well, both horizontally and vertically. And now we're actually going to change that shape layer and bring it down to where it matches. I think right there is actually really cool. It looks good, it looks professional. And now we're going to go to the second part of this motion graphic. So how we're going to start this second part is we're actually going to go out to about right before 2 seconds, and we're going to create a keyframe on the position of the rectangle. And we're doing this because we want the rectangle to come in first. So now go to the very beginning of the clip, and then we're going to drag that super far to the left so that way I can kind of zoom in and look just really cool and really crisp. So we're going to push that out a good distance, and I think that's way too slow, so we're going to push it out even more. So now that's finished, we're going to highlight those 2 keyframes, Keyframe Assistant and Easy Ease, just to make it smoother, and now we're going to see how that looks. And that's a lot better. I like the speed of that. So now for the second part of this transition, we're going to change the scale. So what we're going to do is drag your marker right before when the full rectangle comes in, keyframe that scale, make sure to unlock the scale, and then switch both the Y and the X axis to 0, and then it should make it completely invisible like so. And then we're going to drag that a little bit back. I'd say about right there is good, right about the half-second mark. And now we're going to put that back to where it was before. And so I'm going to do that right now for you. And we're going to make it about there. And then as you can see, it is a little bit off, but that's because the keyframe is back a little bit from the very last keyframe. So don't worry about that. It will come back perfectly, so let's play that through. And that is really cool. In fact, I really enjoy that transition, and I think we are almost done. Now we just need to do the create section. So open up create, and then we are going to go a little bit, I'd say about right there. So we want it to actually finish coming in after the full transition is done with the rectangle, but not too late and not too soon. So position it right there. We're going to start with that, and then we can change it as time comes. So then I would say about right there is we want it to start coming in, and don't worry, you're not going to see it come over the rectangle whatsoever. So drag that super far to the left, and we're going to keep on going with that. and I think right about there is good. And so we now need to highlight, right click, keyframe assistant, and easy ease for those two keyframes, and then drag that first one back a little bit to slow it down just a tad, and then I think right about there should be just perfectly fine. And now you're going to go up to layer, go to new, and then we are going to go to solid. And this is going to create a mask. So we're actually going to name this mask. So make sure it's over the rectangle, and then under track matte on the create section, go to alpha matte mask. And that's just going to make it to where if it's inside the mask, you'll see it. If it's outside of it, you won't. So we're going to drag that mask over to about right there, right on the edge of the rectangle. And then we're going to play that through really quick. And I like that a lot. That's very professional, very, very crisp. I like the positioning of the mask. Obviously, you can change it if you want it to look different, because everyone's preference is just a little bit different. But for us, I think that's perfect. And now we're going to move on to that second motion graphic right now. Alright guys, so we are back, and I'm now going to show you that second motion graphic. And this one is very simple. It is just a rectangle that creates itself with a line, and then a word is going to drop into that rectangle. And every single one of these motion graphics are going to be extremely easy to do, and the reason why is because it's really going to help you and teach you how to do more advanced ones in the future if you know these basics. So let's roll into the second motion graphic. Alright guys, so how we're going to want to start this video is go to layer, new, and then we are going to go all the way over to shape layer once again, and we're just going to make it again just kind of like whatever size you deem necessary, and then we can change it as time goes. And then the anchor point is already centered in this one, so center it vertically and horizontally, and then we're actually going to turn the stroke on and then turn the fill off. And now what that does is it creates an actual line, as you can see on the outside, but we do want it to be a little bit thicker than that. So we're going to probably take it up to about a 4, and we'll see how that looks. And I like the size of that, and we're actually going to make the rectangle bigger because of how small the stroke is. So go back to that shape layer, and then let's drag that out, and then we'll center it once again. And I actually think that looks really, really nice. And here's what you need to do in order to make it start from nothing and go into a full rectangle. So what you need to do is you need to go to add right down here, select that, and then go to trim paths, and then open that up, and you're going to see a start, an end, and an offset. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a keyframe for the start right here, but we're actually going to make this 100, and then we're going to go out to about right here, and then we're going to make that start a 0, and then we're going to highlight it, right click, keyframe assistant, and easy ease. Now let's watch that through. Now as you can see, that's what it does. I think it's really, really cool, really easy, and really effective, and you can use it in so many different ways. So now what we need to do is we need to add the text that's going to come in to this. And so we're just going to keep it really simple. Let's do, we'll do create again, so we can kind of see it with different ways to make that create sign just super cool and stand out. So let's type that in, create. Alright guys, now that we have that create typed out, I think we're going to make it just a little bit bigger. And so let's kind of make that out. And I like that size. And now we need to align it, so center it vertically, horizontally. And that looks pretty good, but now I actually want to make the shape layer just a little bit smaller just to kind of fit that role that it's playing. Alright, and now let's play that through with the create inside. I think that looks good, but we want the create to also kind of come in. We don't want it to just be sitting there the entire time. So what we're going to do with that is we're actually going to open up that create layer, and then we want it to come right after this finishes. So about right here is when we want it to come in fully. So we're going to go to that transform, not rotation, we want to keyframe the position, and then bring this back, and we're going to just drag this up, and we'll go pretty far with this. Let's try to get to about, I'd say about 800-ish, and so that's probably good. And now highlight, right click, keyframe assistant, and easy ease. And as you can see, this is what it's going to look like. But we want it to come, we don't want to be able to see it the entire way through. We just want to see it when it hits that corner. And just like the last video, we're going to do, or just like the last motion graphic, I apologize, we're going to go to Layer, New, and go to Solid. And then we can just keep it dark orange solid, and then track matte once again over the create and alpha track matte. And this is what it's going to look like. You're going to be able to see it the entire time, but we're going to drag this to about right there. And now let's play it through. And as you can see, it looks a lot better. It is pretty quick. I actually think you might be able to get away with dragging this back a little ways. And yeah, you will. That looks really nice, really professional. We'll play it one more time. And I just love the way it looks. It's super quick, super easy, but you can learn so much from doing something that easy. So now what we're going to do is we're going to save this, and I will be right back to show you the third motion graphic. So how we're going to start this is we're going to go back to Layer, New, and we're going to do another shape layer. Make sure that rectangle is selected. And this time we're going to put it right about over here, and we're going to make it probably, I don't know, let's say about that big. And then as you can see, I think that's a pretty good size for it. I do enjoy the size, but we do want to turn that stroke off. So select stroke, and then make sure it's off, and then go to fill, and turn that on, and that's going to make it look so much better. And what this is it's kind of like a promotion that'll come up during a video. So we're just going to put like and subscribe, and we're going to make those two show up past the line. So let's type in like and subscribe really quick. And I do think that these are a little large for what we're going for, so we are going to make this smaller. The point of this graphic is not to take up the entire screen, but to take up a very small portion of the screen. Alright guys, so I like this a lot. I'm actually going to make that line a little bit smaller just because we want the like and subscribe to be a little bit closer. And then, so let's move that like now. We'll move it down to about right there. And then I like where the subscribe is already. Alright guys, so what we're going to do first is we are going to edit that line because it's the easiest one to kind of mold everything else together. And so let's do this. Now we're not going to do this the same way that you think we're going to do. We're actually going to have it start at the bottom and kind of grow upwards. And I'm going to show you how to do that. So go to scale and make sure that it is unlocked. And then we will keyframe it right past 1 second and then bring it back to about right here. And then where it says 80.9, make that a 0. And then we're going to highlight that, right click, keyframe assistant, and easy ease. Now let's watch that through really quick. Now I do really enjoy that. I do think it's a little bit slow. So what we're going to do is we're actually going to drag that first keyframe up a little bit, and that's much better. Now what we want to do is we want to make the like and subscribe come out, but we want it to come out a little bit separately. We don't want it to come out at the exact same time. So I'm going to show you how to do that right now. And if you watched the previous ones and didn't skip ahead, you probably already know how to do it. It's going to be the exact same way with the mask, but I'll go over it one more time. So what we're going to do is we're going to start with the like, and we're going to go to the transform. We will keyframe it right after this grows, so right about there. Keyframe that position, and then pull it back to about right there, and then drag it over to the left a pretty good amount of distance. And I think right about there should be fine. Right click, keyframe assistant, easy ease. Now let's watch that through. A little bit fast, so let's drag this back a little bit. And that's much better. And we're also going to do the subscribe, and we want the subscribe to come out almost immediately after. So open up that subscribe, transform, once again, keyframe that position, and then drag it back to about right here. And then we will drag this to the left pretty far. And we do want it to come in at almost the same time as the like, at the same speed. We don't want it to look weird and like it doesn't belong. So keyframe assistant, easy ease. Let's watch that through. So I'm actually going to drag this ahead a little bit, so that way it doesn't look like they're supposed to come at the same time, and that looks so much better. And now obviously we don't want to be able to see it behind the line, we only want to see it past the line. And so close that, close this, and then we're going to go to Layer, New, go back to Solid once again. Dark Orange Solid 2 is fine, it's oversubscribed, make that an alpha matte, and then pull this till about right there. And then we're going to do it once again, Layer, New, Solid, and then another dark orange above the like, and then make this an alpha track matte, and then once again right about there. Now let's watch this through. So I think that was good. I want to make sure they're coming in at about the same spot, and it looks like they are. I think that looks super nice, super professional. But there is one more thing I want to show you, and how to bring it all back into itself. And I have shown this in previous videos. I didn't show it in the other two tutorials because it would take way too long, but I'm going to show you in this last one. So what you're going to do is start at the shape layer, hold down shift, select subscribe, and then go up to the composition, or I'm sorry, go up to the layer, and then go to pre-compose, and we'll just name this first. And now, as you can see, it's all one pre-composed layer. And so it's all together, and now you're going to right click, and you are actually, or I'm sorry, you're going to go to Command C, Command V, and it's going to copy it. Now, go back up to layer on that copied, and go to time, and time reverse layer. Alright guys, so once that layer is reversed, this is what you're going to do. We want to make the original copy, the one that's in normal speed, or normal direction, sorry, we want to make it till about 2 seconds. Now, on the copied layer, we're going to drag it the opposite way, and do just about the same, just about a little less than 2 seconds, and then put them over, and we're going to watch this. As you can see, it's super quick, super easy, and it also isn't going to annoy and block out the visual for too long. It's literally it's on the screen for about 2 seconds. And so it really just kind of makes the person that's watching it really want to like and subscribe. And also you can use it with other things like promoting a website, promoting another video, all these different sorts of uses for this single motion graphic. But you can obviously do it in other ways. You can make lines in different places, make them go different directions. There's so much that you can do with it. But with that being said, that is the end of the video. If you made it all the way through and this helped you in any way, shape, or form, I would love to invite you to subscribe, like the video, and leave a comment for what you want to see next. And with that being said, I'll see you guys next Wednesday at 1 p.m. Peace.